We're back again on Lutherans Alive, and Natalie Gessert, our guest, is the newly called pastor at Oak Grove Parish in Zelienople. Natalie, again, we really do appreciate you taking the time to come in and be with us.
Thank you.
And if you would, to take us to Oak Grove, and describe for us, if you would, the setting, what congregational life is like at Oak Grove. You've only been there about a month, you were saying.
2 weeks, actually.
2 weeks. We're really fresh.
Yes, very, very fresh. I began on September 1st and then was ordained on September 11th. Oak Grove is a remarkable church. It's 135 years old, of original German descent. The church is still standing on its original ground, on its original foundation. The fun part about it, just for me, parsonages are becoming more and more rare.
It's true.
And not only is there a parsonage, but the parsonage is attached to the church. So just off my laundry room in the basement, there's a nice tunnel that goes right into the that goes right into the fellowship hall.
Ah.
So
You are connected.
I live at the church. My address and the church address is the same. So that's really unique. But it also, again, reinforces that idea that my life as a Christian and my life as a pastor is really the same. I do things that most normal people do, and anyone could, take a look in my window and see me acting like a normal Christian. Just, a normal Christian pastor is simply a normal Christian at the end of the day. We have on the books about 600 members, but we're struggling a little bit. We probably have about 40 members that come to worship at the late service, and just a fewer than that at the early service. I was asking some folks in the congregation to draw me a family tree because it seems like so many of them are related by blood or by marriage, which is, again, really unique, but a real testament to the strength and the longevity of this church. There's a lot to be of value in terms of the history there. But at the same time, there's a lot of charm to the building and to the area, and just like the church that I worked at in Minnesota up in Forest Lake, Hosanna, we're in a developing area.
Mm-hmm.
And the folks at the church, even though a lot of them are related and married to one another, and there's no reason why we don't want to invite others to be part of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking at some of the developments and some of the new neighborhoods that are popping up all over the place, and we're really hoping that people feel invited and excited to join us in doing the ministry that we're doing all together at Oak Grove. We're very excited about not only the worship and the preaching and what we do on Sundays, but just the way we take care of each other throughout the week, whether it's in times of sorrow and need or really just in times of normalcy and joy. There's all sorts of reasons that we want to spend time with one another. And I just love seeing that reflected with all the members at Oak Grove.
Mm-hmm. We like to talk about the honeymoon period when a new pastor comes to a congregation and things are just beginning and everything feels fresh. What's that feel like to be someone from outside the area that's coming with a lot of hope and a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of excitement about what lies ahead?
I suppose a honeymoon period is where you do have all sorts of hopes and dreams, and maybe a honeymoon period would go away if you don't see those things immediately fulfilled. Well, the hopes and dreams I have for Oak Grove, I hope even now, will be grounded in the same things that I hope if I were there even 10 years from now. My hope is that we learn to preach the gospel always, and always use our words. I hope that we learn how to be very public Christians in ways that are remarkable and refreshing to our neighborhood and our community. And even though that might look different from time to time in terms of what programs or what goals we're looking at, at the bottom line, we're a community of faith. We're a community of Christians. And so there's no honeymoon period or lack thereof that's going to change that. So, of course, do I want the church to grow in numbers? Yes, because I think that Oak Grove has such an incredible community to offer to anyone who shows up at our door. At Oak Grove, we like sinners. We like robust sinners. And we also know that when sinners show up to our church, those sinners also get forgiven. They receive the word of Jesus Christ, and that's really what we put our hope in. But even if we didn't add anybody in numbers to our church, we're still sinners, and we're still forgiving them. And there's a lot of hope to be said there's a lot of hope there for both us, for the people who are there now, and also there's a lot of hope for if people join us.
When a community has that sense of longevity and life together, there are often traditions that have become established and developed in the church. What sort of traditions are a part of the fabric of a church like Oak Grove?
You know, I've asked people in the congregation about that, and no one has really given me a clear answer. So my suspicion is that I'll probably observe traditions more than they realize they are traditions. For example, when I was first coming out there to interview, they had a reception involving pie, and this was amazing pie. This is very memorable pie because those pie crusts included lard, and it was incredible. And so I can tell that food is actually very important to this congregation, as it is to me. And so I can tell that they gather around a good meal, and that's a good means of fellowship. I've also been told that they get very excited about their Christmas Eve services. And we've also talked about doing ministry with the local United Methodist Church and even having a Thanksgiving Eve service with them, which I hope involves pie.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think, in those early days, I'm sure there are a lot of things to be learned about each other and to grow in that relationship as it is just beginning. 2 weeks certainly isn't a lot of time to get to know someone well, but I think it is a good sign that people are open enough to be sharing a bit of who they are and communing together at table, whether it be the table at the altar rail or the table where the pie is being served. Both of those are part of building that relationship and making a start in life together.
I'm just really thankful that they feel so comfortable to include me at their tables and just at their regular old activities. It's really a testament to how this church understands their pastor, and it matches well with how I understand our ministry as Christians.
Well, we are rejoicing with you that it's being a good start and that hopefully there are a lot of wonderful days of ministry together ahead of you. And we thank you for taking the time to come in and share a little bit so that we can get to know you as well here in the Southwestern Pennsylvania Synod. We look forward to much ministry with you. God's blessings.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here, and especially to be in the Southwest Pennsylvania Synod.
Great to have you here. Our welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today on Lutherans Alive. We hope you've enjoyed this opportunity to meet one of the new pastors of our Synod, to find out a bit about what goes into becoming a pastor, and also what ministry and mission come from that personal sense of identity that grows in faith and becomes using our words in public as well. Until next time, this is Lutherans Alive. Good day, and God bless you.